I haven't filmed a normal makeup tutorial in like 500 years. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Makeup Monday. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day so far. I am here today with my stage makeup tutorial. So in my how I did my makeup as a freshman in high school, I did mention that I am in my school's drama club, and that I said that when it got closer to the show, I would film how I did my makeup for the show, and that is exactly what this is. So it is a little bittersweet that it is the last show I will be doing as a high school student with my high school, but I was really excited. When I am recording this, it is our opening night, but by the time this goes up, the show will already have been finished, and that is so sad to think about. Hopefully it went well. I don't know. We've been doing really well. We worked really hard, and I was so happy to be a part of it. So I decided that I would show you guys how I got ready each night for this show. I hope you guys enjoy. If you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and be subscribed if you're not already. There is the button right down there. I don't know. YouTube keeps moving things around. It's somewhere on the bottom. I do have exciting things coming up, and I do have a video kind of explaining what that is, and it'll be coming up shortly, but I cannot wait to share this news with you guys. I have to keep my mouth shut for now, but it's gonna happen. Something big is happening, and I can't wait for you guys to be a part of it. So without further ado, let's get on into today's video. So I'm going to be starting off with my Bare Minerals Primetime Foundation Primer in the original formula. I'm assuming that means that they have more than one formula. I've personally never heard of any other primers for them, but I'm just using this one called Primetime. I think it's a sample size. I'm not really sure. Sometimes I just find things laying around in my makeup drawer and I'm like, I'm gonna use you today. Then for foundation, I'm going to be taking my Kat Von D Tattoo Lock-It Foundation, and I know I use this foundation in like every video, but it is my favorite, and it's especially great for when you want a full coverage look. When you're on the stage, you have all the lights washing you out, so you want something that's going to be full coverage. So as you can see, I just dotted it across my face, and I'm going to be taking the Morphe M439 brush to buff this into my skin. What I usually do is I do like patting motions around my whole face first, and then I start going in like back and forth in circular motion. I try to be kind of gentle because, you know, it is your face, like you don't want to be tugging at it, but at the same time, I feel like that's the only way it really all blends out, is if you really kind of move around like that. To go over my brows just to kind of carve them out, and then it makes it a little easier to do your brows later. Like the lighting looks different, it's because I had to fix something. It just, that light, it was casting like a weird shadow, and I didn't like how it was turning out. Anyway, and for concealer today, I'm using the Rimmel London Match Perfection. I'm in the shade 420 Fair Light Neutral. I like to get my concealer just a little bit of a shade lighter, not too much. I know some people go like extremely light. I'm not one of those people. I'm actually running out of this concealer. I think I'm gonna purchase Tarte Shape Tape because I've just been hearing so many good reviews about that, and it's kind of like how the hype that circulated around Urban Decay Naked Skin, and that was an amazing concealer, so I think I might have to go purchase that. I do have a few gift cards for Sephora left. I was saving them for this season specifically to see if I wanted to get any of the holiday collections, but I'm not really sure yet what I want. Definitely gonna pick up probably the Too Faced one, and I think the Sephora collection itself this year looks really nice, so I might get that. but I'm really not sure what I'm gonna do yet. So after I have it all over my face, I've actually been doing like a different method for buffing it into my skin. I have no idea what this brush is called. It's from the Morphe, one of their brush kits. It just says Morphe on it, like it doesn't have a name, or if it had a name it was scratched off. But it's kind of like a round tip, and it's like kind of not hard, but I've been using this to blend out my concealer. I just feel like it works a little bit better than a beauty sponge, though I do go over it with the beauty sponge just because I feel like it doesn't completely blend it out. It just kind of buffs it in, which I kind of like. I don't know. I've been trying a lot of new things lately, and I think that you always need to like change up what you're doing just to see what works, because you know, maybe you'll like it a little bit better than a method you've already been using for so long. And especially when you're doing shows, you don't want to get a concealer that's going to be too light because you don't want to look like a ghost. You have to remember that there's going to be a bajillion lights like shining in your face. All of them wash you out, so you do need makeup, but at the same time you don't want to go too extreme with things. And I'm also just going to be using the concealer to prime my eyes. So I kind of carve out the bottom of my brow to start and then just place it all the way down. I know it seems like a lot, but I don't like my eyes to look veiny whenever I do my makeup, so I always carve them out a lot. And I also just want to really get a base for my eyeshadow. I feel like eyeshadow primers don't really do this like coverage effect. Like I've never seen like a full coverage eyeshadow primer that I personally like. A lot of the ones that have like a base in it either are a different color. But yeah, I just feel like if you have a concealer, just use that for your eyeshadow primer. It works just the same way. So after that, I'm going to set my whole face down with my Covergirl Loose Professional Powder in the shade 105. And I just like to mattify my whole face, especially if I am going to be photographed or if I'm on stage, because basically everything is just going to go back to the fact that when there's a lot of lights in your face, you don't want to look very dewy or oily or too pale, and there's just so much going on. So I'm just buffing this into my skin using the Wet n Wild powder brush. I love this brush so much. It is one of my favorites. I actually bought this brush on accident. I thought I was buying the Wet n Wild foundation buffing brush, but I ended up buying this one. But I'm not even mad about it. I kind of like this brush a lot. I do still want to pick up the Wet n Wild foundation brush. So after I have set down my whole face, I am going to highlight and contour. So I'm taking my Shade and Light from Kat Von D. I love this palette so much. I really feel like you don't need more than one contouring palette. I only have this and the NYX contour palette because I want to have like a drugstore alternative, because I do YouTube, and I do want to have something that if I do maybe a drugstore or an affordable look, that I have all the essentials that I need. But really, I feel like if you are just doing your makeup to do your makeup every day or however many days you want to do it, you only really need one contouring palette. I really recommend this one. It is one of my favorites, but you can use whichever contouring palette you have. So I'm going to be just taking the Kat Von D Shade and Light brush, which I also just bought because, I don't know, I feel like it's like official, like you have the palette and you have the brush, whatever. So I'm going to be taking this shade in the middle here, and I actually had no idea that the color names were on the back. I just thought they were on the box, so I never knew what their names were because I threw out the box a long time ago. So this top shade is called Lyric, and that's the one I'm using, and I'm just using the light side of the Shade and Light brush. And I'm just patting this under my eyes to give them a little bit of a highlight, and then I'm going to put it on top of my eye as well, just to set down that concealer that we did before, because I don't put the loose powder over my eyes. I don't think that's good for you, but I could be wrong. So, and then I'm going to contour my cheekbones using the shade right underneath it, which is this one right here called Shadow Play. And I think Jaclyn Hill might have said that they started selling these individual pans, because I definitely think I'm about to hit pan on both of these. So maybe once I do, I will purchase the individual ones themselves. I have to see how expensive they're going to be. Then I'm taking this big fluffy angled brush again from Morphe, another brush with no number on it. It's just a huge angled brush, and I really like this to contour the perimeter of my face, and I'm just using the same shade, and I just kind of go around my hairline and then my jawline. I always contour like this just because I feel like it gives your face the most dimension and it evens out your complexion. And I usually bring it down my neck just to darken that up a little bit. And then I'm gonna go back into the shade Lyric, and I'm just going to highlight my forehead and my chin because I didn't do that before. I always do this part after I contour, only because sometimes the bronzer gets like all over the place, so I just want to do that. And then I have to contour my nose real quick. I literally always forget to contour my nose. It's not even funny. So I'm just taking the same exact shade and I'm just going up the sides of my nose using this kind of like weirdly angled brush. I have another brush similar to it. The brush that I have that's similar to it is this one from Soho Beauty, and it's called Eye Highlighting Brush, and I feel like these two brushes are similar. So if you have this, you can always just use this one. I feel like Morphe brush sets should just be brushes that are on their line, because then you could be like, it's the E whatever or the M whatever. I should work for Morphe. And then I'm gonna just highlight down the bridge of my nose. And now it is time for everybody's favorite, to bake. When you are baking for shows or anything like that, you want to not go as heavy as you normally would. So I'm just taking my Revived Beauty sponge and I'm just dipping it into some of the loose powder, and then I just slide it under my cheekbones. And I kind of go back and forth just to sheer it out, and then I'm just gonna do the other side. I do bake under my eyes, but I do it very sheer, so I kind of put it down and then I pat it around as though I'm like blending it into my skin. So you can't really, you can see it, but like not as much as you can see like under my cheekbones. Now it is time for eyes, and I am using my Naked One palette from Urban Decay. I feel like I've never filmed with this palette. I'm gonna take my Bogacci smudge brush. I'm gonna pick up the shade Naked, and I'm just putting this in my crease to use as my transition shade. And I'm just gonna be doing the same thing with the shade Bulk, which is this one right here. And then I'm going to be going into one of the palettes from Too Faced's holiday collection last year. You can buy this on Amazon or eBay probably. I'm just using it because it's what I've been using for the show itself. I'm going to be taking the shade BB, which is this one right here, on my NYX 17 brush. And guys, if this palette looks familiar, it is because it is the palette that I used in my first ever YouTube video, which was called, I think, my go-to makeup routine or something like that. So that, guys, that is almost a year ago. How crazy is that? It's like celebrate. So I'm just putting this high in my crease to give my eyes more dimension. And then I am going to be taking the shade La Femme on my Crown C412 brush. This is the shade right here. I'm just putting this on my lower crease. I'm kind of focusing it on the outer corner. And what I do normally is just kind of hit it on the side of my eye, and then each time I go in, I bring it in a little bit further. And I am going to be bringing it all the way to the inner corner just to kind of give it a little bit of dimension. Then I'm going to be taking the NYX 17 brush again and Fifi and just going over that to blend everything together. Then I'm going back into my Naked palette, and I'm taking the Naked brush as well, and I'm just taking this shade called Half Baked. It is just a gold color, and I'm going to be putting this on my entire lid. And then I'm taking the other side of the brush just to blend that all together. And then I'm going back on my Crown brush, and I'm going to be taking the shade Hustle and just putting this also on the outer corner. Now that we've done that, I'm just gonna wipe off the bake. And now I'm just gonna put on my eyeliner and my false lashes off camera, and I will see you back here in a few minutes. Now that I did my eyeliner and my false lashes, it's time for brows. So I'm just taking my crown brush and using the spoolie side to brush through my brows. If you guys want me to do like a brow routine, I could, but I feel like I really don't do anything like worthwhile. Then I just take some brown eyeshadow on my Wet n Wild eyeliner brush and carve out my brows. I usually make them kind of bold, only for the sake of it just looks nice. I mean, not too bold, but I normally go like a little bit darker. Because again, everything washes you out on a stage. So you want to put on your darkest brow color you got and just go from there. And then I just draw through them to make them look kind of nice. And then I just brush through them again using a spoolie. And then I take my Essence Cosmetics Make Me Brow Gel. This is my favorite brow gel. I think everybody knows that. If you guys have any like good brow gel requests, leave them in the comments down below, because I'm really thinking of getting something new, but at the same time I feel like if something works for you, stick to it, you know what I mean? What I do is I highlight my inner corner. I'm just going to be taking this Royal & Langenical Crease and Smudge brush, and I'm just using the smudge side that looks like this, and I'm going back into my Naked palette, and I am taking the shade Sin, which is this like shimmery pink one right here, and I'm just putting this on my inner corner. And once I let my brows dry a little bit with the gel, I take my concealer again and just kind of go right under my brow to highlight and carve it out and make sure that there's no like hairs still there or that they didn't get into the thing. And I just usually take my pinky finger to kind of blend it out. I don't really blend it out that much because I am going to be putting an eyeshadow shade over it. So I take the Soho Beauty eye highlighter brush and I take the shade Virgin from the Naked palette, and I just put this on my brow bone. Now it is time for blush, so I'm going to be going in to this Too Faced palette again, and there is a blush right here and it is called Mademoiselle, and I'm just going to be taking that on the apples of my cheeks. I kind of stay more closer to the front of my face. For highlighter, I am going to be taking Jaclyn Hill's Champaign Pop, and I'm just using this little fan brush right here. And for lips, I am going to be using my Kylie Jenner Lip Kit in the shade Mary Jo K. I feel like this is perfect for shows because it does not move or budge or smear off. After I outline them, I don't fill all of my lips in with my lip pencil just because I feel like that's a waste. I take the liquid lipstick itself. And once you put on your lipstick, you are ready to go out on that stage and shine like the star you are. I love you guys so much. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, and I will see you next week with more Makeup Monday.
You know, I've never worn this hairstyle before, and I think now I know why, because there's like no hair on the side of my head. What are you gonna do? Mademoiselle. And I'm gonna take my bow